to speak a bit about the origins of language and language. What people forget is language started off as tones, derived from apes, and apes make tones in order to establish what's going on. It's communication. For example, for danger, or if they're threatened, or did you know they've made a discovery? It's like something along those lines. Obviously the language develops. You've got like your Latin languages and your Germanic languages, and they're totally different. But they're not that far away. Like, the distance. Like, you think of Deutschland, and then you think of France. Deutschland's very direct language. Like a hospital, Ziekenhuis. It's like straight to the point. It's a very direct language. Whereas, even in English, like hospital or toilet, rather than whatever it could. Whatever it could be. It could be something very different, or like bathroom. You're not going for a bath. You're not going to. Away to the bathroom. There's not even a bath in the bathroom. The majority of the times, if you're out and about shopping and stuff like that, away to the bathroom. A pub, away to the bathroom. You're not away for a bath, are you? Like folks say, like, I'm going to powder my nose. They didn't say that now. If women used to say that, we just wait to powder my nose. You're away for, whatever you choose to do. But even if you look at language in the sense of, way things originate. For example, shit. Shit, like, has many meanings now. Shit. Like, you say, I'm away for a shit. That's good shit. That's the shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, there's lots of like different ways of using shit. But shit originates from the word poo. And if you're to say, I've noticed, like, see like in construction sites specifically, folk are like, I'm away for a shit. You're like, any worries? It's just, folks say that. Nobody says they're away for a poo. If somebody on a construction site, for example, was to say, they're away for a poo, you're like, fuck is wrong with him? This guy's fucking weird. But they're the same thing. You don't say you're talking poo, you're talking utter poo. There's poo coming out your mouth. But it's like they generally are, the same origin. Like, it's the same origin story. One's just kind of differential than the other. Poo's like, it's got like it's almost got like a fictional stench to it. It's like a formulated stool. It's got a visualization of it. Poo. Where it's shit. It's like just shit. It doesn't really have like an image or a fragrance, a fictional fragrance behind it. But that just shows you, just two words that are the same and the differential ways they are. So anyway, I've kind of moved off the point. So obviously Dutch, very direct, and then you've got French. I can't really ever speak French. Like, I just never ever. It's just very like. I think the best word, like bonjour, salut, monsieur. It's like very like, what's the best word to describe it? It's a beautiful language. It's very magnifique. You'd probably have to like use a French word to describe the French language, which I don't have many French words in my vocabulary. So, but I've got a theory behind, why. Because they're not far away. One's Latin, the other one's Germanic, Dutch, and French. Latin-esque, Latin, derivative. But what happened you know, the Dutch, they're the barbarians. That's the Vikings, barbarians. That's their heritage. Whereas the French, I don't know. I don't know. But however, what happened was that water was often contaminated or not of the best quality, so they would drink a weak ale. A weak ale would be drunk, and everybody's consistently kind of buzzed a bit, you know, a bit buzzed. You know, like when you have a few beers and you're a bit buzzed, you know, you're you see, you know, you're a bit, you know, a bit, you know, you see what I'm getting at, like. So, they are a bit buzzed on beer. But then, in France, it was grapes. So they're drinking like a weak wine. You know, I don't know if any of compared drinking beer to drinking wine. Like, I don't know, it's totally different experience that you have when you're drinking wine. I get a bit like flamboyant, you know. This is quite flamboyant language and a bit dandy. Oh, hello. You swig. You know, that's what people do. They get a wine glass and they swig it in the hand. They go, you know, that shit, like, you fucking pint and just done it. You just like, fucking sound, mate. You know what I mean? Like, it's totally fucking different. And you have to remember that language comes from tones, right? So language comes from tones. So, you know, from going for like, ooh, 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 ee, you know, like, it's crazy to think from ooh, ooh, ah, ee, ah, whatever, you know, to go from that to French, like, it just blows my mind. Like, it's fucking, obviously there's a lot of time that's been passed, I do understand that, but you know, I just think, you know, that's the difference between the Dutch, the barbarians, and the French. You know, the French were drinking the wine, oh, magnifique, yes, hello, bonjour, you know, that shit, like, the fucking, whereas the Dutch are like, Richtig, and Ziekenhuis, and, you know, like, all that stuff, like, that's my theory, wine, beer, one's pissed on wine, the other one's pissed on beer. So, but you find the other things out as well, is that, you know, words that were, you know, the established polite words sound a bit dirty, you know, compared to, you know, the supposed dirty word. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really want to go there, to be honest, but, you know, like, if you say to somebody, like, you've got a nice ass, like, it's obviously, you know, it's a bit cheeky, it's really shush, I don't know, it's up to yourself, like, or you say to somebody, oh, you've got a lovely bottom, you know what I mean, like, the fucking bottom sounds like, you know, it's strange how these words just change, develop. I don't know if it's got something to do over time, you know, it's developed and changed into something else, but, you know, it's like fucking, you know, like, listen to this, right? Like, I've just gone there just to show how mental it is. You know, like, come in your ass, come in your bottom. You know what I mean? Like, it fucking sounds mental. So, the development of language changes, and then you've got shit and poo and shit. You know what I mean? Like, these are fucking, like, it's like there's like almost like a change of you know, angle happening. So, you know, get your old 1900s dictionary out, start reading things, you know. It's insane. So that's my theory. You know, I think like in terms of weather as well, you know, weather has a lot of, you know, effect on how people are You know, the colder countries tend to be colder in, you know, the way they are. Because it's cold, you know, fuck it, it's cold, you know, right, it's happening, bye, see you later. You know, the hotter countries are a bit more like, you know, I don't know how to like describe it, you know, but it's, you know, what I kind of I've seen myself, you know. The Romance countries, the Romance languages are called, aren't they? The Romance are the Latin derivatives, and then, you know, the Germanic, so, you know, fuck in the cold countries and make love in the hotter countries. You can't even, but back then you wouldn't even have to really make love in colder countries because it'd be too cold. It's hard enough with heating off and that. It's freezing. You know, I can like he's, you know, the one country is just taking their time with their clothes off and that. You take off your t-shirt here, you're like, you know, in the winter it's freezing. Yeah. So that's my theory.